ask whether or not they banned the Corki, but why would you ban the Corki with if Yagao's going to play like game number 1? I think you're okay with the Corki on the other side.
Yeah.
Now, this raises questions because Kanavi played 2 Nidalee games in their previous best of 5, and they were both losses for JDG. However, right here, the story could be that you play towards the Renekton, you play towards Flandre. Flandre, obviously, throughout the years has shown how good he is on those carry champions. You put resources towards him, it could potentially be a different route that JDG could play through.
Very different look for Photic here. Pure damage with the misfortune. Going to be a lot about getting into the right position at the start of a fight, trying to find that big angle for the bullet time.
I wouldn't be surprised right here to see that as the misfortune has been locked in, if Leyan doesn't pick up the Lillia right here, it's something that Kanavi has excelled on throughout this entire summer. And it also ties very well with the likes of REll potentially going again towards something like the Jhin or even the Ezreal that's been left open here.
Yeah, opens up the angle for maybe some form of poke comp, right? You could very easily take the Corki if you want, and I feel like if you're JDG, you still have 3 AP options, right? You've got Nidalee up, Zyra's gone, Lillia,
and
Brand could be taken away. So yeah, let's see exactly where JDG
It has to
JDG
be Lillia
decides
here,
to go.
no, it has to be.
I mean, Lillia looks really awesome for Leyan, but Brand is also okay. But they want the AD matchup in the mid lane, and Rookie is going to pick up a Lucian here. And off the top of my head, he's played it a good couple of times.
Yeah, it's a champion he's a little familiar with. Like, 1 or 2 games over the years. Definitely a pick you've got to fear Rookie on. He got MVP in game number 1 on that Zeri. It's been respect banned away from him. Goes for a classic in the Lucian instead. Now to the bans. You mentioned the Lillia already. We've mentioned the Nidalee. Both of those AP jungles available. The Brand as well was so valuable for Leyan in the fights.
And also, let's not forget the Shanji on red side, one of the the strongest champions in general due to the terrain. Again, very undivable. So if JDG are looking to play towards the top side, which locking in the Ezreal, it could very well be the case. Very safe laner down the bot lane.
I feel like JDG really need to ban Lillia. Like, I think it's kind of paramount because bullet time, set up for REll. Generally, even if Kanavi goes Maokai in response, it's like you're still playing Lillia into Maokai.
Can we not see Maokai ever again from JDG?
I do agree, but like they might have to do it again if they, for whatever reason, don't ban Lillia. I think unless there's something they're super worried about out of Shanji's champion pool, like for example, I guess the Nasus again. But when you've got Renekton top, you're probably okay with it, I guess. Let's see. They removed the Nidalee themselves. What? Okay, and now to be fair, Leyan, bit of a, I don't want to say legacy Nidalee player, but I mean, it's not like we haven't seen him play it.
If there's a legacy Kanavi, legacy Nidalee player, it's Kanavi. Right? As you know, Leyan definitely in that category as well. I guess, yeah, I think it's a fair bit of respect, to be honest.
Yeah, but again, like,
this is a no-brainer, no?
Yeah, not only is it a no-brainer, but now you kind of lose the potential of like having an early tempo jungler that can really keep up and contest Lillia super early on. Again, I think this puts you in a position where you need point-and-click CC to actually reliably lock her down.
I'm wondering, does he go towards the Brand or does he pivot towards something like the Viego? He has so many good souls to steal away with the Viego. However, there's no many easy shutdowns for him to clean up through, so...
They need magic damage. I think that's kind of...
Do they? I don't see many tanks on the other side. Oh!
Okay.
What's happened to Kanavi? What's going on?
In all fairness, last year, Kanavi was one of the first LPL junglers to bring out the ivern and actually make it look really, really good. And there's obviously been a stigma for many years about LPL ivern players. And this is a pretty okay comp. Double AD carry, 2 like frontliners that want to go in. You're very happy to be playing a shielding support like ivern here. And
oh no! Uh-oh.
Shanji going. I was gonna say going old school. It's new.
That's him laughing.
Like this was completely in control of the LPL earlier on in the year. It's a long time since Udyr was in the meta. But it's a pick that totally ignores matchups and just gets prior, which might be what you need.
He's played it before in that best of 5 where they played over a couple of weeks ago in the playoffs. Didn't end up being the most useful pick right here for NIP. However, when you look holistically at the compositions, JDG are looking to scale into that late game. You've got 2 AD carries that scale really well. You've got the front to back, you've got the ivern. Ivern with 3 items is an absolute king when it comes to team fights.
Yeah, and I also just think the added CC that ivern does bring to a gank, especially on the side lanes, is enough to just be kill threat, like just point blank period. So very difficult to walk away with Leona on top of your head and then you just get root called or a ruthless predator that's empowered. very difficult to walk away from those scans.
On the other side for NIP, look at the self-agency through the lanes. You've got Leyan that can very easily dictate the way he wants to play through the jungle. Rookie on the Lucian that can take over mid lane. And of course, Misfortune plus the REll can definitely take control over that bot side of the map. So I feel like NIP right here are playing for lane dominance.
Certainly are. And you know, when it comes to lane dominance, Rookie is one of the classics, and he's on one of his classic picks of that Lucian. But I'm looking towards Ruler as well. He was on the Jhin in the previous game and he tried his damnedest. This time around, he's got a bit more agency in the fights. He's on an Ezreal, it's a 1v9 champion, and Ruler looks in form. JDG have to fight back from 1-0, but you know that this team's got clutch factor.
I see the confusion. They don't know whether to say Jayo after the drums or after the chant of the name.
We're adding
or
3 extra beats.
Yeah, we are adding 3 extra beats.
I can see the confusion. But equally, if you do it after the drums, you don't even know which team you're cheering for.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
Misfortune heading towards the top side of the map. Look at Zhuo walking through the jungle. They did this in spring. NIP are looking to lane swap right here. Udyr, one of the best champions that you can use for those lane swaps. However, right now, Zhuo is going to be hiding in the jungle, and Photic already in the tribush.
The other strong consequence of this is ivern really tends to suffer a fair bit in lane swap just because he's not a normal jungler. He doesn't take camps like a normal jungler. He has to mark them, leave them there, come back, and there's definitely room for a champion like Lillia to go and abuse that.
Spotted.
Yeah, importantly, spotted on the ward. Shanji starts a fight onto Flandre, just gets some really nice damage out of Flandre. Is having flashbacks to earlier in the year. He knows he's going to be level 1 for a long old time in this game.
Also, usually when you're lane swapping, you're usually helping your jungler in the clearing paths. There's nothing to help ivern with. You cannot be hitting the camps as Flandre, so Flandre will be suffering quite a bit.
And just off screen there, Shanji made sure that Kanavi couldn't mark the camp. If you're ivern, you're marking the camp, you take damage, you can't mark it anymore. So he just man-marks him out of the top side of the jungle, and now he's effectively quadranted off towards the bottom side where nothing's happening. He's also going to be down a camp because Leyan started on the wall. So very, very strong punish here of not only, you know, the lanes, but also the one-to-one jungle.
And it goes back to what you were saying at the start of the day, Georgia. Like, NIP, creatively, when it comes to the macro, they are very well drilled, they are very well prepped, and they approach games in a very positive way.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm calling the ivern a jobless jungler because he doesn't have to spend too much time in the jungle. He can get to harass, go behind, try to take summoners from lanes with the Q. And you've got a lot of setup through the top lane with the Renekton as well. You've got Leona on missing. So you've got a bunch of opportunities to try and take that ivern around the map and take summoners. But right here, NIP, they're not even letting them breathe. Let's see if those tire platings to the bottom of the map for JDG onto Ruler's Ezreal are going to be enough.
So Rookie pushing in the mid lane. A lot of pressure so far from Rookie. Yagao really trying another piercing light. Hits on. Kanavi knows that there's a risk of Rookie trying to find this 1v1. Rookie, I think, just spotted it.
Yeah, would have seen him. Definitely would have seen him, so there's no way that he's going to be able to dive him. But still, Kanavi, as you put it, Georgia, very jobless right now, so
just hit level 3 through Legion XP from mid lane. He has no camps.
Yeah, no, Zhuo's under here alone. I mean, JDG could dive him if they want.
How is Photic ever getting into this?
Yeah.
Zhuo just solo lane REll at this point. He's just going to get all of this XP. I mean, Zhuo will hit level 3. He'll catch up to Photic. Photic spotted. There are 4 players here for JDG. Zhuo, honestly, maybe lucky to be alive. I feel like there was a reasonable dive angle.
I'm going to set something right now as a small seed, and I want everyone to remember it.
Okay, Ivan.
Good. Look at this one. That was crazy from Zhuo. Zhuo getting all of that solo XP. He's going to be fairly far ahead of missing now for the next couple of minutes.
So many control wards.
Grubs, level 6. If he has that, and missing doesn't have level 6, this is the consequence of why.
All right, keep our eyes on the XP for these supports. So far, NIP bringing an interesting strategy to the game. However, Ruler is the one ahead in goal. Oh, hang on a second. Flandre has an XP lead in the top side. NIP started this domino effect, and Flandre is the benefactor.
You tried to starve the crocodile, and the crocodile bites back. JDG, very quick decision making. Flandre was absolutely screwed on that swap over on the top side. They pivot him towards the bot lane. They bundle up as 4. They take tower platings. They shed 3 tower platings down the bot side of the map. A lot of experience as well for Flandre. Gets back up, takes both summoners from Shanji as well. Well played for Flandre, and again, a player which not necessarily got criticized, but everyone said that Sheer was just better. Now, Rookie.
Oh, forced the flash. Kanavi, plenty of presence towards this mid lane. You guys talking about how little Kanavi's had to do. It's meant Yagao has had that bit of extra pressure. Now with a summoner down for Rookie, perhaps. Ooh. Angles in the future as Leyan goes for these topside camps again.
I will say, if you take a look at the XP bars between Kanavi and Leyan, you're seeing why lane swapping against ivern in the immediate future of an early game can be so powerful and potent. Yeah, Kanavi again, the CS numbers, it's so awkward to leave these camps, but let's take a look at Shanji here, just likely blatantly disrespecting the damage that can come out of this Renekton.
It's level 2 versus level 3, right? You get fully stacked Renekton Q as well on the Shanji, flashes through the Q with full fury.
Not much to talk about.
The Ruler fan in the bottom left there
Shanji
loved that kill. Fantastic for Flandre. And you know, there's a lot of criticisms towards early Renektons in the draft. Flandre managing to find an advantage through it. Now Shanji trying to contest him. But importantly, Udyr not really getting the prio in this top lane. Leyan.
Level 6 versus level 4 in the jungle. Leyan, who you mentioned the support. It's not even a support diff in terms of level. You walk up to a level 6 Lillia.
Ivern also just stinks at grab contests, so he's much more about enabling the laners that actually show up to the fight, and right now he's not actually able to enable anyone. Shanji's got prio on the top side. Numbers are here first inside the river for NIP, and yeah, JDG got to back off.
However, if I'm going to take anything from game number 1, the JDG love to contest every single objective, whether it's set up or not. This time around, gotta commend them for actually backing out a situation they couldn't contest.
I do feel like, though, window shopping in this manner, it's such a big waste of time.
Absolutely.
Because imagine you're trading and crossing. Oh, mapping Photic!
Ruler! Takes a tower shot. My goodness. Flash for flash. Both AD carries had cleanse, by the way, so no getting out of that one.
Well,
Don't think it's going to help them with this stretch.
Well, level 6 is here.
Ruler must be so close as well. I think he's one creep away from that level 6.
He is one creep away from level 6. And he's going to catch this wave. I wonder if this has any ramifications, not only for the top side here, but for the Dragon in a few moments' time. Shanji diving.
Level 5 on the Udyr. Blocks some CC, missing Happy to tank though, and he will go down. Leyan gets asleep. It's under the tower. It's a beautiful swirl seed, and it's an answer for NIP.
I mean, 3 men on the top side to kill a very underfed Shanji, and it's still a 1-for-1. That feels pretty good for NIP. JDG left a bit reeling as missing in trouble.
Flashed on. The dots coming on through, and there's a flash from Leyan.
The shield!
Isn't enough. Swirl seed. It's on cooldown. Missing survives.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Leyan might have been out of mana. I actually don't know if you could have cast that Q there.
Oh no, this is so unfortunate for Kanavi right here. They're gonna dip straight into the jungle. They know that missing is super low on HP. This is a 3 levels gap between the 2 junglers right here. Kanavi is fighting for his life to get a camp in his own jungle.
Yeah.
Shanji moves in. Yagao trying to get to be a part of it as well, but Rookie is there and has the 1v1 threat. Flandre is level 6, but Dominus is on cooldown from the previous play. And with a smite from Leyan, that's NIP taking a blue buff again, and that jungle CS lead is 40 CS in favor of Leyan at 8.5 minutes.
9 camps. Kanavi is down right now. As well, it's going to get technically equaled out because, hey, look, there's more camps to take on the top side. So, yeah. Again, very rough early start here for JDG, for Kanavi specifically. This composition will scale into the mid game very well as Rookie might face check.
He was thinking about it.
And the thing is, like, we were talking about Kanavi today, coming in saying, you know, this guy has to be the carry. We want to see JDG playing towards Kanavi. He's playing Maokai and Ivern.
He's getting the yike treatment, man. They're giving him the trees. Next game, it's going to be blue side again, but Zyra's not going to get banned, and then they're going to give it to Kanavi, so they bring up a ban.
I feel like JDG, over the 2.5 weeks that they had over to play this best of 5, they've realized that too many cooks in the kitchen is too much. When you got Flandre jumping back into the roster, and he's played more aggro champions. We saw the Garen, now we see the Renekton, we've seen the Jace prior as well in summer. Someone has to step back. Someone has to be the solid engage for the team. And I feel like ivern fits most compositions right now, especially with double AD carries and melee tops over the top with the support. So I feel like Kanavi, yeah, sure, he's taken one for the team, but I feel like if that's what the team needs, you need to step up to the occasion.
So, bit quieter than game number 1. Game number 1 started a little quiet, and it got pretty action-packed, because as you guys were saying, JDG very happy to contest the early objectives. First Drake still up on the map. Neither team been willing to go for that one just yet, with Leyan playing up towards that top side and Kanavi being on ivern. It's always difficult to go for those Drakes early on. But I will say REll, while all of this has been going on, has quietly built himself a massive CS lead between the AD carries.
Yeah. I guess some of that is also, you know, the lane swap very early on. Remember, Photic had to miss about, actually, probably 20 minions in all fairness. So that gap could just be mostly remnants of that play. In all fairness.
But is that not a criticism of NIP then?
Yeah.
They chose to do
I mean,
the
look,
lane swap.
if the rest of the map works out, or the objectives
jungler
go their
was
way,
3
I mean,
levels up.
their jungler was very far ahead. Now teleport's coming in here from Flandre. JDG definitely want to contest this one. Daisy's actually here this time to fight.
NIP already got the first 3. Leyan would love to grab a 4th one. There's a smite from Kanavi as a TP from Shanji. NIP are fighting. Daisy on the front line is missing, trying to tank as well, but the Udyr's already gone. He's one with his spirits now, is missing, just about survives. Rookie tanks up the True Shot barrage. That might have been the damage difference for Photic, honestly. But in the meantime, the rest of those grubs go down.
I mean, if JDG were window shopping the first set of grubs, it really felt like NIP were for this set, because you've got Rookie down on the bottom side, he teleports super late. Shanji comes in really early, and he just kind of face tanks all the CC to get one shot. It's a bit of a questionable decision out of NIP and the approach overall. And Leyan being split away from the rest of the team fight makes that a very easy picking for JDG.
There's 2 big factors right here on that JDG victory in terms of team fight. You see Corki, Ezreal don't have the Trinity Force yet. A Block Cleaver has been completed for Flandre. That helps a lot when you go double AD carry composition, the extra armor pen that's going to go into the front line of NIP, who haven't necessarily built many of the items. Let's watch this one more time. There is a wall of bushes that's going to go down from Kanavi, which isolates JDG from certain members of NIP. Leyan cannot find his way in, which is huge. He's the primary damage from them. He's all the resources they have. And once they get rid of the front line, this is how this JDG composition works, front to back. Whoever walks up, you take care of them. Leyan could never find his way in, therefore there's no damage from NIP.
Yeah, very, very difficult. You are certainly relying on the Lillia lullaby into big bullet time for a lot of these fights. Otherwise, JDG, front to backs, definitely wager them over NIP, especially as the front line for the moment being is a lot weaker on the side of NIP.
Certainly is. REll looking good so far. Flandre flashes away from the swirl seed, understandably. Leyan now gets in on the action on this top side. 4 grubs for NIP. That means this tower and its plates not long for the world. Even a Demolish proc to help out. And whoa! Sidesteps away from the Zenith blade. Missing those. He's been outplayed.
Kanavi on the other side of the map is trying to steal some camps away. He's like, guys, I see Lillia. I'm invaded with ivern. You don't see this very often, but this guy has been so starved on the champion that he'll take any camp he can get.
He certainly will. After that early game, he's desperate for camps at this point. Still a level down, a full level as well. I don't know if that plate's going to go down. The cannon denied by missing. I think one more cannon auto might have got the plate. It won't be taken. Let's kind of recap for a second here. JDG, despite that early game, despite Kanavi being a whole level down, are actually up 1,000 gold at this point, and all of it sits in the pocket of REll. He's got a real carry compared to the Jhin from last game. He had a great game on the Jhin, don't get me wrong. But an Ezreal can take the game into its own hands, and it feels like JDG need REll to do that.
Yeah, got the Triforce already, and I kind of want to pivot onto items for a second, because Kanavi has picked up an Echoes of Helios, and that's not a super common item that you'll see on ivern compared to the very traditional Redemption, Moonstone. It's a slightly more aggressive and stronger on-spike item, but it just...
Kanavi.
It is Kanavi. The upfront healing that it provides on purchase, probably a little bit stronger than Redemption, but generally Redemption just has a lot stronger scaling. So we'll see how it pans out, especially because JDG definitely needed to kind of recover from some of the early game woes that NIP put them into, but just find it very interesting that he's gone towards that item.
Preparing for the Dragon right here. Rookie taking it onto Yagao. Not allowing this Corki to play these fights. There is no teleport in Yagao, so you chunk him down too hard, he can never join the fight.
Drake smited. Kanavi finds it. Beautifully done, and now the root lands. True Shot Barrage comes in. Leyan over the wall and actually surviving. Somehow, NIP are the ones to find a kill. Photic gets over the wall. The culling, not enough though. And it will be support for support.
I feel like that's still a win for JDG because they got the Dragon. And it could have been far worse for NIP, right? Photic and Leon just limped out of that fight completely. Kanavi winning out that 50-50 over a watch-out Eep smite from Leyan. Very, very good work from him.
Also very importantly for Lillia, having that flash, getting that flash Q into this big fight on the multi-sleep is very important. Knowing now that for the next about 5 minutes that this summoner spell will be down, JDG might feel a lot more confident walking up to those fights.
No, they will. They will feel far happier as a replays here.
Now, Kanavi feels pretty confident walking up. Daisy is down, as we can see. And this feels like a pretty advantageous fight for JDG for starters, because they get the root onto Leyan, which then allows Missing to follow them up with the Leona. Great flash from Leyan, but then Missing is a little bit too far forward, and Rookie has been keeping this entire time. Of course, this doesn't necessarily result in anything. It was just a trade of supports. However, now lots of summoner spells burned for NIP.
I just love the simultaneous flash from Leyan and Zhuo. It's like, which horse am I hitting? I don't even know. It's the old switcheroo. Suddenly it's a metal horse. Zhuo ends up going down for his trouble. Saves his jungler though. It isn't here, but they've got hoops. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
As now Leyan continues to consistently go for these invades, but Missing going to defend these Krugs for his jungler. Kanavi gets in. Doesn't have his smite available for a couple of seconds here. I don't know if he'll even need to go for it, to be honest. They've defended well.
Okay, good hold. Shanji. It's not going to start the Herald.
This is a very different game to game number one. Game number one, we pretty much, as soon as there were objectives on the map, we just had, you know, bare knuckle boxing between the two teams. This time around, much slower. NIP start themselves with that lane swap, and now gold basically even. It's a one Drake advantage. It's a one grub advantage on the other side. Nothing too much to talk about. So we do kind of have to talk about, where does this game end up? I mean, if this does continue to go long?
Compositionally, it just benefits JDG, like at surface level, right? You've got Corki, Ivern, Ezreal. You're happier to go longer. This is a lot more about whether or not NIP can find the big fights with the sleep, with the bullet time, and just generally with Zhuo, you know, having good follow-up or setting up for those previous two tools to begin with. Maybe some strong side laning out of Rookie now that he's, you know, encroaching on 2 items, but Corki, Yagao, he's going to match that likely as the pace sees it right now. So it does feel a little bit difficult for NIP. I feel like they're going to have to try and proactively find some kind of pick like this.
Oh, bullet time. Well, Daisy will be a casualty. Leyan happy to grab
greedy,
50
man.
gold.
That is so greedy from Kanavi.
I think he just wanted to try and get that smite off. Doesn't manage to do it in time. Photic now, no bullet time to defend with, and the Herald will find its charge. It's not quite enough to finish the job, and Missing went in on the back of the Herald, but he's so tanky, he's not even taking damage just yet. Zhuo and the tower are the casualties, with Rookie falling as well, and out of nowhere, JDG find themselves like, oh God, Leyan! Not like this.
Threaded the needle right there for Leyan at the very end. But a great fight from JDG. Starts with Kanavi getting caught out. But again, having that Daisy in the front line, the front-to-back strength that they have, double Trinity Force already completed for both of your carries, is where that Corki and Ezreal spike in that early game, you can put down the damage.
Yeah, I mean, Missing, I guess the Herald throws you back at the angle of which you go into it. Because, put him in a very awkward position, but Zhuo, wow. I mean, that was a lot of damage.
It looked like an awkward position. Missing literally didn't take damage. With an Ivern behind him, with the fact that, like, he's Leona anyway, just kind of tanked it. The swirl seed.
Not like this.
Look, it wouldn't have actually killed either of them, but it just feels bad to watch.
It's definitely not a strike, that's for sure.
Uh-oh. I mean, control ward's there.
Rookie went down in that previous play, but has a ward this time around. Yagao Missing won't find their mark. They will find themselves a Gromp though. And they found themselves a gold lead. JDG now officially ahead. And you were talking about item spikes. Ruler with his Muramana finished off at this point. That is a scary Ezreal out of the bottom lane.
Again, I feel like for JDG, it's just much easier to walk up and teamfight. They've got a very clear plan. Pop up Daisy, just walk up, put shields onto your Renekton or your Leona that can do the job for you, especially since Flandre is also ahead in his lane. He can get to use that Renekton for pressure early on, and he just doesn't get easier the later on the fights get.
Sometimes ease of execution is very much just an eye test, and I think these last 2 fights or so are really a testament to that. Yeah, JDG's composition is just easier to use. Leyan really has to find big flash Qs into sleeps. Same thing for Zhuo with his ultimate. It's very, very difficult if JDG never group up, and so far they've denied them those kind of opportunities, and Photic's never been able to have that big open up moment.
How do you even get those engages where the bushes go down? You can't even see who's hiding where for JDG as a Dragon is getting started up by NIP.
And that can go both ways as well. If you lose control of that area,
Zhuo.
the enemy team can use those brushes.
Zhuo.
It's a nice flank on the horse. Spotted though.
Oh, Dragon
JDG
Reset.
knew something was going on. Zhuo not to be deterred, still trying to make it happen as
Daisy's
Shanji is
Daisy.
pushing in the meantime. The Daisy flank trying to happen. There's a smite from Leyan, 1 Drake apiece. Redemption coming on through for the damage on the backline is missing. Sets it up onto Zhuo. The bullet time not really finding its mark, and Yagao flashes for the first kill of the fight.
Man.
Into the backline goes Shanji, but he's not getting out of that one alive.
What does Udyr do here, man? It's a fantastic fight from both sides, and it's NIP that walk away from it with the dragon, the trigger seed.
Oh no, he took him to Rookie! Cancelled! He was betrayed by Photic, and now Photic cut down by Flandre as well. Photic just walk bot lane, don't walk through the tri-brush, man.
I take it back. JDG won this exchange.
Yeah, big time.
If it wasn't obvious.
Yeah, betrayal. I think I quoted fratricide yesterday, and that definitely felt like that from Photic.
Certainly did. Man, I mean, the difference between game number 1 and game number 2 here for NIP is night and day. It was a great start on the Lillia when it comes to fighting these objectives.
My favorite part is when Kanavi plays any of those champions, he doesn't play them defensively, man. He uses Redemption to do damage on the backline of NIP, not to heal his teammates right there. But it's just very plain simple. Leona in the front line, Renekton in the front line, shield and roots going up. No one can die.
Great flash forward from Yagao. Look at Shanji. What does it do? I'm just like, you know, any other champion maybe? Maybe there's an
He thought he was Nasus.
He thought he was Nasus. Even Nasus would have done something different there, but yeah, Photic.
No, Photic.
In
No.
Photic's defense. Oh, wait. The trigger seed stopped Rookie's base. The trigger seed was on missing. The damage actually stopped. That's what it was. We don't see that because of the initial. Yeah, so very unfortunate.
But if he'd just run bot lane instead,
True. They would have chased him through a
they
different
wouldn't have gone
route.
through the tri-brush. He would have finished the recall.
That's still true.
Silly. I mean, it looked like Rookie was going to finish the recall.
Listen, everyone has to go down with the ship.
Yeah, if I'm going down, I'm bringing you with me.
Yeah.
Oh dear. It's definitely been
Oh my God.
a game of all time from NIP. Leyan had such a good start. I mean, he's still 70 CS up in the jungle, but we're beyond the point where that matters. And like you say, I love the approach. Hang on, engage, and the bullet time over, but Kanavi, he just out-sustains it. He just survives, and now Missing's onto the backline. Zhuo is already gone. Gulling will do nothing. Photic goes down as a triple comes through for Yagao. True Shot Barrage barely misses, but Ruler's not letting Rookie get away with this one. Rookie flashes, but there's only so much you can do.
I've been playing Ivern in moderately high elo for a very, very long time, basically since its release. I have to commend Kanavi for his aggressive redemption uses back to back. It's just so funny to see.
You want some healing? Get in there. You've got to get in the action if you want some healing.
You've got to die for the healing.
You take the champions away from the player, but you never take the play style away from him.
Flandre's not going to die, but it's just fun. I mean,
What was the TP for him?
Maybe he is going to die, actually. Hang on a second. Shanji might just be showing us why he picked the Udyr, chasing down the ghost pop. Flandre desperately trying to escape. Ruler arriving, a TP comes through. Shanji, you've got to finish the job. He can't get over the wall. and he flees instead, but Missing cuts off the escape path. The whole of JDG arrives to punish the play. Missing looks for his enemy. Oh, he's on cooldown still for 6 seconds. Shanji gets out.
I don't know what's more ridiculous. The fact that Shanji got out of that mess, or the fact that a Thorn male, Warden's male, Udyr, nearly just one-shot a Sterax Renekton.
Hey, this is Doran's ring.
Okay.
That's a lot of AP.
That's a lot of AP.
In Flandre's defense, he did not have ultimate available to him to take it back. But Udyr is a very good champion if you want to run away from things. That's what we get from this.
You know, I don't know if you guys saw that tier list from LS the other day, where he had Udyr in S tier.
I think it's been there the entire year.
I think maybe that's what it is.
He's so good at running away.
It's not bad damage.
It's not bad, yeah.
I mean, if he can do that in a fight, he can hit Flandre like that in the middle of a fight.
I mean, if he can hit Yagao or Ruler like that in a fight, you know.
He can get to them.
I'm going to be honest. Yeah, we're being pretty wishful with our thinking here on what Shanji's going to be able to do in a fight in terms of slamming his Q damage onto someone. Because I mean, the shields from Kanavi are just they're getting more and more oppressive. We're getting close to 3 items for Kanavi on the ivern. In fact, while Leyan is still ahead in gold, he's still ahead in XP. Kanavi's almost finished 3rd item. Leyan's nowhere near.
And this is one of those benefits to ivern, right? The silent ones where item completions are so important in League of Legends. Ivern's a support. He builds support items. They're all like close to 1,000 gold cheaper than every carry item in the game. He's just gonna be ahead in like a few minutes time. It looks like he's going towards Mikhail's.
Photic. Calculated.
The difference between the jobs of the two junglers right here differs so drastically because Kanavi had always been 3 levels down through that early game. It didn't matter as long as you got a shield, as long as you got a root, as long as you got Daisy out in those fights. I guess round 2, go.
Okay, big damage on Flandre and a flash force, but it was TP from Rookie. NIP, will they pull the trigger on a Baron? It feels risky.
It would feel very, very over-ambitious. But I feel like they're running out of options. Shot barrage.
JDG are moving in. Dominance available for Flandre. Missing goes in. Missing tanking a lot of damage here. The rest of the gang still coming. How is Missing so healthy? Does NAP have any damage? Bullet time comes across and, well, the answer is no. The orbital redemption flies in as JDG look to clean up. Leyan down, Rookie last man standing.
What a fantastic little micro sidestep from Missing in the back of the pit of blue to not die to the Lillia Q before that shield can come through. JDG are going to get Baron off the back of this. NIP, again, I'm not going to say asleep at the wheel. They're looking for a pick onto Flandre and it's just too far gone.
I mean,
they're wide awake at the wheel, but they can see the lorry coming.
And that's Daisy. Yagao and Ruler were nowhere near in this fight. So that was a 3 versus 5 in favor of NIP. But it's still very scary because Daisy adds another body in the fight. And you saw how much Missing was able to tank through with the shields coming in from that ivern. Let's watch this one more time. This is a 3 versus 5. You see 4 because Daisy's right there, but Ruler and Yagao are nowhere near to start hitting, and Missing is tanking literally the entire team. And now, remember what we said about Kanavi using his redemption aggressively? He did again. JDG have to fish for that redemption to heal them. But look at both Missing and Flandre. They are in this front line, so they do get benefited both from the damage and the heals that come through.
Yeah, and then look, Missing just completely hugs the wall to dodge out on that final Q. I don't know if it would have killed him in all fairness, but it's still just one of those things where if you're Leyan, you just put your head in your hands and think, man, and just makes things feel all that more worse. And now Baron's up for JDG, and they're looking to siege on some of these inner structures.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, whether the Q hits or not, that's a definite loss for NIP. As JDG, they've had complete control since, like, the early game didn't necessarily go their way, but as soon as we entered the mid game, feels like they've been in control for a long old time in this one. Kanavi, after such a terrible start to the game, such a great start for NIP, it doesn't seem to have mattered in this Ivern in the late game with double AD carries, with a Renekton and a Leona on the front line. He's very happy to just blast out these shields.
10,000, sorry, gold for JDG right here. They found Missing.
Have they found Missing, or has Missing found them? NIP, I mean, they started the fight. JDG are going to finish it. Photic forced away. Daisy, the only casualty for JDG. I think they might just keep this one going. I think they might just end the game. NIP, they tried their damnedest. They had a good early game, but once it came down to team fighting, once it came down to controlling the map, JDG have been dominant through and through. An answer back, and we might just have a series on our hands. Missing goes in for one last engage. The true shot barrage is good. Rookie down on the fountain, and JDG punch back.
Had those stats, boys. Get your good licks in and feel great about that game number 2 response. Very, very decisive after what felt like a very destructive early game to have to navigate. And it does leave NIP wanting for a game number 3.
I got 2 things here. One was that Kanavi used his redemption defensively when they were 3v5, when they were killing the Nexus for once this game. And 2, how broken is that champion? 3 levels up, Lillia was on him, and all he had to do was go from lane to lane, pop down Daisy, give shields, give Qs for missing to follow up on. I think Ivern has been one of the strongest champions in the current meta. Tien has showed it as well. Forever banned versus him. I feel like NIP should be looking for a ban towards a champion in the next games as well.
I'm just going to be honest. I think Udyr was a big problem for NIP.
Yeah.
What did he provide in comparison to what Flandre provided and in what, you know, again, the other frontliners of JDG provided?
Stuff like Gnar was available too. Like, Narva's Renekton is a perfectly